Okay, well, it's going to be time to take off soon. So I've assembled all my equipment together, got it all packed into the bag, just making sure that everything I'm planning on taking goes in there, and that everything I've not used for a while is still ready to go. Here's my main pack. Everything I own now fits in here other than my laptop. This particular model of pack is the Berghaus Bioflex. It's the C72 series. This particular one is the 100 litre pack. I've had quite a few 100 litre packs in my travels over the years. This particular one seems to be bigger than all the rest. I don't know, maybe their litres are different to everyone else's. I'm not going to complain though, as I do need this space. This is a very versatile pack. Lots of side pockets, particularly handy when you are on the trail. This one, for instance, has my water purification kit in it. I can literally just pull that out while I'm on the trail, purify a bottle of water, put the pack back on and start moving. I don't have to unload the entire pack. Same again, this particular access point on the pack down here. You can just unzip this bottom area and pull out whatever you need. In this case, I normally keep my waterproofs stored around this particular region of the pack, and my tent and tarp shelter. That way, the first thing I can do when I get to a location is just unzip this part of the pack, and I can have shelter built up and be out of the wind and rain before I've unloaded the whole pack and got everything wet. Carrying system on this pack is the most noteworthy change in pack design. Swing around. Here we go. The harness system really is something else. I carry extremely heavy loads in this pack, usually around and in excess of 30 kilos, which most packs do just fall apart when I've put this kind of pressure on them. Usually the shoulder straps here go first. I've had no problems. I generally lift the pack with that, put one arm into this area, and I've never felt any kind of give on this region while I've been putting all the weight on one strap. The hip system is something new and a departure from many other backpack designs. This is completely flexible, allowing the pack to shift and move on your back while still maintaining all the load on the hip belt. This takes a lot of the pressure off the shoulders and makes walking and hiking a lot easier. I'll get her unloaded now and show you the different categories and bits of equipment I use. Okay, with the bag now fully unpacked, we now have 4 distinct piles of equipment. I'll just briefly run you through those. The first would be my day-to-day equipment, my bedding, clothing and waterproofs. Second pile is my electronics, basically just all my camera equipment and laptop. Laptop's not with that right now. My campsite, as it were. This equipment helps me extend my stay with my tent and tarpaulin. My cooking equipment, walking poles are in there, they basically hold the tent up, and any bits of crockery and cutlery etc. needed. Fourth and last pile is just my fishing equipment, getting smaller every year. That includes 3 rods in the tube, 3 reels, and just basic equipment and lures. Before I start unpacking all this gear, just thought I'd show the Sea to Summit compression sacks that I've been using. Pretty much all my compression sacks are along these lines, one up there. These are made from waterproof event fabric. If you're going to use a compression sack, it might as well be waterproof, it weighs the same. These provide a high amount of compression, getting a hell of a lot of equipment in a small amount of space. That particular bag has got enough clothing for me for 4 or 5 days hiking. That's a clean pair of clothes every day. Heaps of socks, all be nice and dry when I get where I'm going. Here we go, we'll just unpack some of them now and show you exactly what you can compress into them. This particular bag, I believe, has my sleeping bag in it. Here we go, this is the Golight Adrenaline 20. This particular model is slightly longer. I'm pretty tall, so I wanted plenty of space inside it there. Extremely warm bag. Personally, my only complaint with this bag is how thin the nylon material is on the outside. If you're doing irregular hikes, etc., that's probably acceptable, but for really long-term use, it's only got to get caught in its own zip, as happened here, and that just tears straight open and spits out a great big plume of goose down feathers, filling your tent, as it was in my case, like it was snowing in there. But yeah, it's an extremely good bag. The only bag I've had in recent years that's actually kept me warm of an English evening. I'm weighing in at less than a kilo. Very light, these bags, and compressed down to next to nothing, as you just saw. Something else that I use with this sleeping bag, silk sleeping bag liner. This is handy when staying in warm climates. I'll just sleep in that liner as opposed to sleeping in the sleeping bag, and it just helps keep the mosquitoes off you. Primarily though, I use this to stop my sleeping bag smelling. If I'm sleeping inside this thing, it's a lot easier to wash that by hand than it is to pay for dry cleaning of the down sleeping bag all the time. Okay, Thermarest mattress. Again, packs down very small. This particular model is the ProLite 4. I have used a ProLite 3. Find them just slightly too thin. My hips tend to lay on the ground with my weight. I'm quite a big unit at over 6 foot. This is the short model. They're available in 3 sizes. There's plenty of information on the web if you're not familiar with Thermarest and these self-inflating mattresses. All you do is just open the valve, let that sit for a couple of minutes, and that'll inflate itself to a point where you just need to put a couple of lungfuls of air in there to make it nice and stiff. It took me a long time to discover these self-inflating mattresses. Many uncomfortable nights sleep before that point. As you can see, they're nice and thick, very comfortable, but the thickness also provides extra warmth and stopping the ground from leaching your body heat of an evening. Another brand of these that I've used was Alpkid, and that was extremely good. I think it was cost about 1/6 of the price of the Thermarests. These particular models are about £60–70. Quite expensive, but they are worth it for the weight savings. So the day-to-day pile, you've already seen the sleeping bag. The only other bits remaining would be my clothing. Nothing really too special in there. Lots of Columbia lightweight quick drying stuff. Hell of a lot of Berghaus gear. All my waterproofs Berghaus, the same as the backpack, etc. My boots. Yeah, Berghaus are just hard wearing equipment. It's not as if I have any allegiance to them. I just find their equipment has survived where a lot has died. We'll leave that pile and go on to my home from home, really.